I just want to make a quick video explaining how I set Undaunted up for my future reference. So I've got everything packaged up like this. I've got the objective markers together with the dice. I've got all of the Allied stuff together, all the German stuff together, and the decks in their own separate bags. And I've got the tiles loose, or not in a bag. So what you do is you pick a scenario, and then what I do is I just roll a die to decide who's going to be what side. So I said, okay, on a 1 to 5, I'll be the Germans. On a 6 to 10, I'll be the Allies. And I rolled a 5, so I'll be the Germans. Then what you want to do is you come to the scenario, and you look at this list here, tiles, and you just get these numbered tiles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, skip 8, 9, 10, 11. You can just count it like this, and just get them on the right side, and that'll help you set up more quickly. So I've now got the tiles set up. All I did was that I went through my stack, and as I picked up each tile, I just looked for that number in this line, and I said, okay, 4, is that in here? Yes. And then what side does it need to be on? It needs to be on the A side. So I just, if necessary, I flipped it over, and I just put it in this pile so that I have all of the tiles that I'm using, and they're all on the right side, the correct side in this pile. And then this is the pile that I'm not using for this scenario. So next is going to be laying out the tiles in this arrangement, and you can split the tiles in half. So what I've done when my opponent was here is I split the piles in half, and I give half of the piles to him, and I say, okay, help set these up, and I take half and I set up that half. So I've now placed all the tiles loosely in the right position, and now I'm just going to tighten them up so that they're all tightly together. The next step that you can also split up is you have to get the right counters for the units you're going to be using. So the platoon sergeant is not a counter, but the rifleman, the platoon guide is also not, but the squad leader is also not. But the riflemen are, scout is, machine gunner is. So those units, like Rifleman A, that's a counter in here that you need to take out. Rifleman B is a counter you need to take out. Scout A is a counter you need to take out. Scout B is a counter you need to take out. Machine gunner A is a counter you need to take out. Machine gunner B is a counter you need to take out. And that's just for the Allies. And then the Germans have to do the same thing. So you can split that up with each player handling their own side. I've separated out the counters for the Allies that I'm going to be using in this scenario. You also have these other counters. These are spawn markers, tell you where your different squads spawn. To figure out if you need those, you look at the map. So we've got a control marker here, a scouted marker here. So I need at least one of those. And then here's the all marker. That means that all squads, both squads A and B, will spawn in here. So I'm going to grab these control markers and also the all spawn marker. I've got the all marker and a bunch of control markers. So I'll just put most of the rest of these back in this baggie so they don't get lost, and this stuff as well. The stuff that I don't need, I can put it back in the baggie. I'll be less likely to lose it. I also had in the baggie the initiative marker, so I took that out, and I'll figure out where to put that later. I've got the unused counters back in the baggie, so now I'm going to place these on the map where they go. So I look at here, I get the all marker is in this hex, or this tile 1A, so that's this one in the top corner. The way I arranged the tiles so that my side would be towards me and his side would be towards him. So the Germans are starting on this side of the map, so I arranged the map so that the German side is closer to me. So now I think all of their units, all 4 of their tokens, why do I have 5 here? Rifleman, oh, because the machine gunners don't start off on the map. So these machine gunners, machine gunner B, machine gunner A, these ones will start off map. I don't know where I'll put that. I'll figure that out later. But these other 4 will start on the map. And then also I need a control marker. So this thing goes there. I need a scouted marker. So I flip the control marker over to get the scouted marker. That goes there. And I need a scouted marker in 3B. So I put one of these in 3B. And I'll just put these off to the side for the allied player for now. Next, I'm going to do what I just did for the German player and get them set up. I've now got the Germans set up with the machine gunners on the side and a couple of extra sighted control markers for later use, and it just matches what is in the scenario description. Next is adding the objective points markers. So I'm going to go into the baggie that had that and also had the dice in it, and I'm just going to dig out these numbers and put them on the map to match what it says in the scenario description. I've now placed the objective markers in the correct tiles to match the scenario description, and I'm also noting in the scenario description the German objective is to get 6 objective points, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6. The US objective is also to get 6 objective points, and there are no points earned for killing the enemy. It's only by holding ground that you get points. The next step is to get the right cards out of the full deck that you're going to be using. So every circle here represents a card that is either in your starting deck that you can draw from, those are the black ones, or it's in your supply S, and those are the ones that you would put over here that you can move using a card action. You can move that into your deck and then later draw it. So I'm just going to look for these different cards and put them in front of me. And the other thing I've noticed is that if you see a card for a particular unit, that usually means that you need to take all of the cards for that unit. So if you see like there is a Rifleman A there, you're taking all of the cards that are for Rifleman A. So it's just a heuristic. You don't have to worry about whether there are other cards that you aren't going to use for that unit. So this sheet shows you what it looks like when I've sorted through my cards. All I did was I just took the full deck, and every time I saw an A or a B, if I saw a C, I just immediately discarded it because the scenario isn't using Squad C. And then I just sorted them into the different types without worrying about the count of each card, because that would slow it down. And then I'm going to double check the counts here, but I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be using every card of each type. Like, I think there's just 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think there's just always 8 Fog of Wars. So it keeps things simple. So now I'm going to just put everything into, after I double check the numbers, I'm going to put everything into my deck that I'm going to draw from, and the supply on the left that I can move into my deck. This is what it looks like after I've sorted everything. So these are the cards that I'm not going to be using in this scenario. I just put them with the tiles that I'm not going to be using in this scenario. I've got the cards that I have to put in my deck. Again, those are the ones that are in black there. And then all of the other cards go on the supply, this area here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle this by just because they're sleeved, I'm just going to create piles like this, and then just kind of randomly switch them between piles, and then just randomly stack them together like that. And we'll call that shuffled. So then what I do is I just put my deck over here, and we're supposed to draw 4 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that'll be my hand that I'll have to select one card to bid for initiative. To bid for initiative. The other thing is, at this point, we figure out who starts with the initiative as a tiebreaker in case both of us bid the same level value card, and it always tells you in the scenario here who starts with it. So I start with this token. So if we get a tie for the initiative, I will win that tie.